Let's face it, the Bay Area housing market did not have the best 2022. But what do the prospects look like in Q1 of 2023 and beyond? Coming up on this Silicon Valley Snapshot. Given the epic run that the housing market has had here in the Bay Area, it should not come as a surprise that we finally hit a bit of a snag, and that all came to fruition in May of 2022. So for the last 7 months, we have had ups and downs, a lot of downs, a few ups, and right now, as we look at the data for 2023, heading into 2023, there's some very clear signs of improvement, and we're going to get into that data. But before we do that, if you're a home buyer in today's marketplace and you're looking for a comprehensive data set to assist you in your home buying decision making, you can text the word data plus the neighborhood or the zip code or the area that you're looking in, and we will get all that information sent straight to your inbox. And if you're a home seller and you're trying to figure out when is the best time for me to put my home on the market, or should I even sell my home? If I do sell my home, what price should I assign to my property? Because right now, pricing strategy matters now more than ever. All of those questions will be answered when you text the word data plus your property address to the number down below. The thing to remember when looking back at the housing market back in 2021 and after COVID 2020 and the run up in 2022 before we got to May is the inventory levels were very suppressed during those times. And in that time, the demand was fairly consistent. It was really truly the inventory levels that drove the pricing up, that drove prices up. And so what we're seeing right now in the marketplace is data to support inventory levels starting to come back down to a point where it's not going to be like it was in 2022, but there are signs of improvement. And especially if you're a home seller, this information that you're about to see is going to be very good news for you. So let's dive into the numbers, starting off with Santa Clara County. In Santa Clara County, December, we had 586 homes on the market and 437 homes pending. Now, when we look back at November and October, we're seeing the inventory levels and the demand, the pending sales, that line is starting to come together. And as that delta decreases, the perceived market conditions improve. Why? There is less supply relative to the amount of demand. Looking at November to December, there was definitely a decrease in demand. So there's a 25% decrease in demand month over month, but there was a 37% decrease in inventory levels. So the strength of the market actually improved month over month. And that trend has actually been happening in Santa Clara County over the last 3 to 4 months. You see, in July, we had this massive disparity between inventory levels and pending activity, especially when we compare it to the likes of February and March of this last year, where it was almost the exact opposite, where we had way more pendings than inventory levels. And so now leading into Q1 of this year, the question remains, will that momentum carry through Q1 of 2023? That yet remains to be seen, but there's a lot of signs that show the market's improving. Let's think about what's happening on the interest rate side of things. Interest rates have improved significantly over the last 3 to 6 months or so. So we're seeing signs of improvement on the interest rate side of things. We're also seeing signs of improvement in the economy. So there's a lot of reasons to believe that on the demand side of things, we're going to see an uptick in demand. And if the inventory levels continue to stay down throughout Q1, we could see a mini spring season here in the first couple of months of 2023. I would not rule that out of the equation, where we actually see like a multiple offer market, more competition. And that would be a result of a couple of things: low inventory levels and interest rates staying down to promote buyer activity. Heading on up to San Mateo County, we had 301 homes on the market and 190 homes pending. That's a big, drastic improvement from November of this last year, where we had 515 homes in the market and 266 homes pending. So yes, pending activity came down 28%, but we had a 41% decrease in inventory levels from November to December. Now, this happens every winter. It happens every winter where inventory levels come down. This is not new, but what we're looking at is the relativity, right? How much is inventory dropping relative to demand? If pending sales had dropped accordingly or even more, then we'd be saying, wow, this is an even better buyer's market than it was a few months ago. But that's simply not the case. We are seeing everything start to even out, and a little bit more life being brought into the market and demand staying consistent where inventory levels are dropping off more considerably over the last couple of months. And if you look at the last few months in San Mateo County as well, this is a trend that, similar to Santa Clara County, we're also seeing that trend happening in San Mateo County, where inventory levels are dropping off faster than pending activity is dropping off. And that is good news if you're a home seller in San Mateo County. Surfing on down to Santa Cruz County, we actually see a slightly different narrative playing out. We have 195 homes on the market and 85 homes pending. There's a decrease of 19% in inventory levels and 27% in inventory levels. So inventory is decreasing or pending sales, I should say, are decreasing at a faster rate. So in essence, we're seeing a slightly different story in Santa Cruz than we're seeing in Santa Clara County and San Mateo County. So we are seeing a slightly less competitive market than we were seeing in the previous months. That being said, when you look at what was going on in, say, October of 2022, the market conditions have improved relative to October, but not November. So things improved in November and then got a little bit worse in December. So we're still seeing this stabilization of the marketplace, this neutralization, if you will, in the marketplace here in Santa Cruz County. Let's see how that plays out in Q1 of 2023. But if you're a home buyer, there's still obviously a lot of opportunities. And if you're a home seller, there might not be as much opportunity by timing the market to get on, say, like end of January, early February, try and catch like that early spring season that we could see come into effect. Might not be the case in Santa Cruz County, although things could change in a heartbeat. Heading on up to San Francisco, we are seeing a stabilization in the city, 43% drop in inventory levels and a 40% drop in pending activity. So relatively neutral month over month. That's great news. It's fantastic news because we were seeing a slightly improved market from October to November. And so that improvement has held still from November to December. So again, time will tell and see how San Francisco behaves heading into Q1 of 2023. But right now it's fairly steady. And so whatever the conditions were, say like November of this year, December of this year, probably going to see something pretty similar in January and February of 2023. And then let's see how it all shakes out, because we've seen San Francisco can be extremely volatile. Even in the short last 15 months or so, there's been some pretty good months for sellers and then some not so great months for home sellers and vice versa for home buyers. So time will tell how San Francisco behaves. But for right now, it's holding steady heading into 2023. Heading on over the Bay Bridge over to Contra Costa County, we had 741 homes active on the market and 449 homes pending in December. That is an improvement in market conditions from November to December. Obviously, we're seeing pending activity come down 27%, but inventory levels came down 34%. That is a decent improvement in market conditions month over month. And let's see how that plays out. As that delta continues to come together, the market conditions are going to get more and more competitive for home buyers. And even right now, some of my team members are reporting as of today, which is January 5th, that they're experiencing multiple offer conditions in the East Bay and in Santa Clara and San Mateo County. So if you're a buyer that's looking to get in now, sooner, before, this potential mini spring market, because this sort of environment doesn't just last like 1 or 2 weeks. This lasts multiple months. And so we are being set up right now for a fairly decently competitive market, especially if you're looking at like the best homes in the best communities with the best schools. Those properties are getting multiple offers right now. And I only anticipate the conditions getting more competitive over the next couple of months. So if you're a buyer that's looking to get in now and you're searching for the kind of agent that's going to be able to negotiate on your behalf and get you in without overpaying, it's exactly what my team here at Selling Silicon Valley is trained to do. We are trained to use the data, use the analytics. All of my agents know how to do that. And then in turn, use that to negotiate on your behalf and ultimately help you win the home without overpaying. You can text the word SSV agent, that's SSV agent, to the number down below, and we will get you set up with one of our home buying specialists that is specific to the area that you're looking in. We have agents now in 7 different counties here around the Bay Area. So geographically, regardless of whether you're looking in San Francisco, Santa Cruz County, Santa Clara County, San Mateo County, Alameda, Contra Costa, San Benito, even out in Central Valley, we have agents in San Joaquin County. We have agents in Modesto, Stockton, Manteca. We even have agents servicing now the Sacramento market. We are growing very rapidly and we have agents to service your needs in any of those counties. So if you're looking for an agent that is local to your marketplace, that knows the data, that knows the facts better than anyone else, reach out to us at the number down below. All right, and finally, in Alameda County, we also had a slight improvement in market conditions from November to December. 614 homes on the market and 445 homes pending. That is a 36.4% decrease in inventory levels and only a 25% decrease in pending activity. So again, market conditions improving in favor of home sellers as we head into this Q1 of 2023. And very similar. So very similar to what we saw in 2019. In fact, here on your screen, you can see Santa Clara County stats in 2018 heading into 2019. And in 2018, you see that run up in the first part of 2018. And then market conditions dramatically changed in the fall, in the summer and fall of 2018. And heading into 2019, we saw see that delta start to decrease, right? And what happened at the beginning of 2019, we had a mini spring season. We had a mini spring season from basically January 15th through the end of March. And then things started to taper back off again, and things didn't really get great until like the beginning parts of 2020. Then COVID hit, and we all know what happened after that. So all that's to say that all signs point to the market conditions improving fairly decently over the next 3 months. Now, obviously that remains to be seen. It's not a given. But just looking at the data, historically speaking, this looks like something that is very probable to happen in the markets that are showing signs of improvement, which would be Santa Clara County, San Mateo County, Alameda, and Contra Costa. Which is not shocking because those are typically the counties that have been performing higher than the average, even during this housing correction that we've been on over the last 8 months or so. So what do you think is going to happen? Be interested to see your comment down below. Go ahead and leave us a comment. Let me know what you think is going to happen. I'd be curious to see what the overall consensus is, because truthfully, part of this is consumer sentiment. There's the data and everything, but consumer sentiment does play into the overall housing market, whether it's strong or not strong. And something tells me, just based on the activity levels that we're seeing here just internally within my team, within my organization, that consumer sentiment is actually fairly strong and stable and strong right now going into 2023. Much more so than you would expect given, just how not great the last 8 months have been here for the Bay Area housing market, or at least not great relatively speaking, because our housing market is still performing much, much better than other markets do, even when the market's super hot. So again, everything is relative here, right? In the Bay Area, we're used to homes flying off the shelf, and that's no longer the case, although we are starting to see signs of a resurgence in the market. And so whether that lasts 5 days, 5 weeks, or 5 months, that yet remains to be seen, but you can count on the Silicon Valley Snapshot bringing you the latest data. This is Danny Gould, everyone. I'm selling Silicon Valley, and I will catch all of you in the next video.